Hey, Shalom, welcome back to the channel. Look at the background, it's beautiful, it's nice in the morning time, it's cool right now, you can hear the birds. And I've been having this thought now for a couple of weeks. You know me in history. I love reading history, I love finding out historical facts. I'm watching a documentary right now on the Silk Road and learning all sorts of things about the Middle East that I didn't know, and I feel guilty because I was so ignorant. But my point of this video is the 20s, right? Is there something about the date, the time, 2020? And I thought, well, what happened in the 1920s? The Roaring Twenties is what they were called. And society took a huge turn in an opposite direction in the 1920s. What you had before that was, you know, the turn of the century was a very genteel kind of culture, at least in America and England. I have no idea what it was worldwide. In America, the Victorian Age had, you know, was just around the corner. If you look at pictures of ladies in like the 1910s, they're still wearing those huge hats to shade themselves from the sun and very long dresses, sometimes, you know, with a gathered bustle in the back and, you know, long sleeves and lace and everything. And then you hit the Roaring Twenties, and partially I'm sure it had something to do with World War I, because World War I is right before the Roaring Twenties. You get all these soldiers going to Europe. I'm pretty sure France, even in those days, was a little bit looser, you know, a little bit more artistic. And so they come back, and the ladies go from wearing these, you know, very elaborate dresses to the really short flapper dresses. And the flapper dresses were a reaction to the Victorian era. They wanted more freedom. The women wanted more freedom. They started smoking cigarettes. They started smoking those ones with the long holder. They started wearing those hats that were completely different. It was just a wide headband, or maybe a wide headband with one feather, versus, you know, the Victorian things were very elaborate and very big. So there was a war and then a change. What happened in the 1820s? Well, in America, the 1820s was a time of revival. For whatever reason, religion suddenly became huge in the 1820s, and it swept all the way across the nation. And you got, you know, preachers who would stand out in the field and have a crowd of 1,000 people listening to them. So that was a great time of great change in the 1820s. Now, 1720s, I didn't research, and I'm just going to off the cuff say there was a lot of travel, I believe. There were people in the Americas in 1720. I don't know if Cook, you know, went around Australia or whatever. And then the same for the 1620s. I think we were in the 1620s is when the Massachusetts Bay Colony was established in America. So you had some traveling going on there and some change happening in the 1620s too. And bring it all back forward again, we have all the things that are happening now, you know that. Back in, wow, 1995, when Pastor and I were overseas, 2020 was a year in which Malaysia hoped to be completely modern. And they had a, you know, a whole campaign going on while we were there. And it might have been 98 or 99. To kind of mentally get their people ready. They had almost a 20-year, you know, distance there before this huge change was going to be accomplished. And I think that's kind of interesting that they chose the date 2020. So what do you guys think? Do you see a historical thing here? Because I sort of do. And that means if it's going to be anything like the Roaring Twenties, it's 10 years. 10 years long of just, you know, societal change and the after effects of that. And then there was the Great Depression. So what do we have coming up? I'm not sure, but it'll be exciting. And I plan on following Yahweh through all of it. All right, thank you for watching, y'all. Bless you. Shalom.